Hey everyone, welcome into Flippin' Hippo's YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you haven't already, please consider subscribing and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Today is Monday, September 23rd. So it's time for What Sold on eBay. We're doing things a little different this week. We will get into the plush. I usually start with plush. I do show you every plush sale from the whole week. And then I pull highlights of our other sales to talk about with you. Sometimes the highlights are a highlight reel, but more often there's something about the item I want to talk about with you because it has a teachable moment, whether it's a brand you should be looking for, a brand to avoid, a mistake I made, something I did well, something I got somewhere where I want to tell you how to source it. Everything's a teachable moment on here. Very, very, very few times do I put something in a highlight reel just to show you, look at me, look at what I did. Because this is a teaching channel and I always want to lift people up and help you to become better resellers and have more profitable businesses. So watch me if you want to learn and you want to discover something new each week. Don't watch me if you're here to be entertained, because I'm not here for accolades. I'm really not. I'm here to teach. I'm going to start with some poopy comics. So we order our comics wholesale. They come out to 50 cents or $1 a piece, depending on where we order them from and how much we pay for shipping. We're looking into some new avenues for places to buy our comics that may make them more like 25 cents a piece, which is really good. For the most part, we're paying 50 cents to $1 a piece. So we like to get the good ones up and listed first, always prioritize. When you buy wholesale, you're going to have to learn that word, prioritize, and you're going to have to do it over and over again. With electronics like remote controls and things like that, you can guarantee that 10% off the top, at the very least, is going to be garbage. It's going to be thrown in the trash. It's going to be broken, battery corrosion. That's electronics. When you're dealing with clothes and comic books and jewelry, I feel like it's less than 10%, and maybe I just have good places where I source from, but it's not very often. Out of my thread up denim boxes, I may have to get rid of something with a broken zipper twice a year out of hundreds of boxes that I buy. The comics that we've purchased, out of all the comics that we bought this year that we started doing comics, maybe 10% total, all the orders. We had one box that was really, really bad one time, and we're not going to buy from that place anymore. So, in plush and clothes, they just don't have that, like, you can guarantee 10% is going to get thrown away. Always with electronics. But here's what you can guarantee. When you get a wholesale lot, you're probably going to get one or two items that are really good. Sometimes you won't. That's not a guarantee. So if you get a thrown up box of jeans or a box of comics or plush or remotes or electronics, you might pull one or two items out that are worth a lot of money. Sometimes more. Sometimes you hit the jackpot and you get a lot more, and sometimes you get boxes with none. What you are going to get the majority of, the most of, is those middle ranged prices, those bread and butter pieces, and you're going to get a good handful of poop every time. Now, I list the poop. You do what you want. My business model is not your business model. You do not have to emulate me or do the same thing I do. But I do list everything because I want to make every single penny of profit I can out of a box. But I also want to be smart about it. So we're back to that word, prioritize. You can set your poops aside, list the bread and butters and the filler items if you have a volume-based business or you're okay with bread and butter. List the good stuff first, then the bread and butter. Set your poop aside. And if your poop sits for 6 months or a year, that's fine. I'm still going to list it eventually. I just don't make it a priority. I want to wait until I have like 100 comics that are all considered poop and I'm waiting for a new delivery and I have nothing better to do than to sit here and watch a horror movie and take a bunch of pictures. Do you see what I'm saying? We do get them all listed. Here's the thing with comics, though. I really like listing the quote-unquote poop comics because people will bundle them. If you have the same title in a series, numerical order or not, I've had people buy 10 Deadpools and they buy 1, 12, 26, issue 52. They don't always buy them in order, but sometimes they do. So it's nice when you have them in order. And you've got to offer a shipping discount. I think that's imperative. So you have to go into your settings under your sales on eBay. If you need to know how, let me know, and I'll do a quick tutorial video on that for you guys. Just let me know in the comments. I have no problem with making tutorials. But we have a shipping discount set up if folks buy 2 or more items in specific categories, they pay a flat rate of $7 for shipping. So we put only our comics and our jewelry in that category, in that sale. It lets you pick your store category. So I chose comics and jewelry because those are so lightweight. They could buy 10 pieces of jewelry and I'm still only paying $5 shipping, right? But when you set that shipping discount, I think that's super imperative for comics. And put it somewhere in your description. Now, I've seen other comic book sellers put it right up here in their title that they offer combined shipping. I don't put it there. Maybe if I had room, but the title is super valuable real estate. So I try to keep that to just my really good keywords, things that are important. I feel like with comics, bagged and boarded is important. Collectors look for that. But in the description down here, we do let them know that they get a brand new board and sleeve. And we offer combined shipping on all of our comics. So we get a lot of combined orders, not just on eBay, on Poshmark, but Poshmark offers the bundles and then you can do a discount on the shipping. And on Boxery, a lot of folks bundle comics. So of all the categories that we sell in, comics is the one that I'm most okay listing poop items because I know folks are probably going to bundle them. Star, why don't you just list them as a lot to begin with? Because not every buyer is looking for 10 Dark Horse comics. Not every buyer is looking for 8 Deadpools. Some people are just looking for a specific comic or a specific episode. So I don't want to list them in a bundle or a lot to begin with, because if someone's looking for a specific comic, I want them to be able to purchase it. We do put $5.50 shipping, and this is the lowest we do go on our comics. So $3.74 if it goes on sale on our 20% off. It's $3. $8.50. When we used to do free shipping, $8.50 was like our lowest for really poopy plush. So we're okay with that. If they only bought the one comic, and we'll say they bought it when it was on sale, right? So we'll say it sold for $3. We're going to take out the fees. I always subtract 15% just to be on the safe side. It's a little bit less than that. And then it costs me about $4 to ship. Sometimes it can be $5 if it goes to like California. And I paid $1 for this or 50 cents. Even if I paid $1, I made $2.21. Or I could have made $2.71. That's not a huge profit, but it adds up. And that's the point of a volume-based business. And that's the point of that word again, prioritization. My good stuff is already listed. My expensive stuff is listed and it's selling. My mid-grade, my bread and butter items are listed and it's selling. But come a winter where it's snowy and icy and I can't get out to go sourcing, or my mail is held up or shipping is held up and I'm sitting in my office with no new inventory, I can grab a stack of poopy comics, photograph them, and get them listed so it's just something, and then the volume will add up. But these ones were bundled. So they did purchase 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Dark Horse comics, and they paid, they just did the discounted shipping. They didn't even ask for a discount or anything. So they paid $25.70 for all 5. I'm going to take out the fees. It did weigh over a pound once you had them all in, but I did the ground shipping, and it was right at $7 to ship all of them. And then 5 of them, I think these were 50 cents, but we'll take away $1 for each just to show you that we got a $10 profit. It was probably more than that if I'm right on the cost of goods. All right, now we'll get into the plush. We sold a lot of our poop plush over the weekend as well. So I'm okay with that because we're getting into Q4 when folks are going to start opening up their wallets. We're getting into that time of year where people get a little more irresponsible with how they're spending, even when the economy's tough, even when folks don't have discretionary money and groceries cost more. I can tell you that people will be irresponsible with their money. It's Christmas time. People go into debt. I know people personally who will go into debt and spend the next year paying that debt off just to have a nice Christmas. People do it in the summertime to go to Disney as well. I'm not here to make judgments on people. I'm just here to state facts. People spend money in Q4, whether they have it or not. You want your best items up. Hint, hint. Get your BOLO items, your expensive items, your luxury items, your items that can be seen as a gift, coffee mugs, books, a video cassette. Why did I say video cassette? My goodness, I'm old. I meant to say video game, and I said video cassette. Oh my gosh, I'm so old. Okay, but you know what I mean. Items that are gifts, new tagged clothing, items that are expensive, vintage items, unique items, one of a kind, collector, plush, collector comic books, really awesome jewelry. Get up stuff that looks like it could be worn to a holiday party and put that in the title. You got a red dress, put holiday party in the title. Get it all up because people are going to start spending their money. They're shopping for their gifts, but they're also shopping for themselves as well for the parties and things like that. So if leading into Q4, if the end of that summer slowdown, that brief area and like in August, September, if you can put stuff on clearance and you can run sales and you can send coupons and you can just get rid of a lot of your poop items, number one, it's more activity in your store. An active store is a happy store. The more you sell, the more your other items are going to be seen in searches. You're going to be given preferential treatment because your store is seen as having desirable items and items that people want. But also, when you get rid of the lower end items, it helps boost you as well because you're not being drugged down by folks looking at stuff and maybe not buying it. That affects the algorithm as well. So we sold a lot of plush. We had a really great weekend. Let me just say that. Like I said, I'm not here to really brag, but I am kind of excited because we had the best weekend we've had in a very long time on all platforms and our other eBay store and Amazon everywhere. We sold a lot. It was really refreshing because it's the first weekend we've had. Did you hear me knock on wood? I feel like we're getting into Q4. We're so close. It's October 1st. It's like a week away. So it's getting there. I think sales are picking up. Don't jinx everybody, star. All right. Ty Beanie Boos Glamour Leopard. Poop plush. Y'all. I used to tell you that Beanie Babies were poop and the Beanie Boos were pretty decent bread and butter, but they may have gone the way of the Beanie Babies. There are still some Beanie Boos, depending on the character and the size of the plush, that can be worth a little more money. You can also see that this one was clearanced off. So we are still running 50% off sales on older items and items that we want to clearance and get rid of to make room for new. Here's another tie. This is an actual Beanie Baby. He's a poop. He was only 30% off, so he was just a regular price on our weekend sale. We always do 30% off on weekends and holidays. And he sold for $7.87 plus $5 shipping. A Build-A-Bear that was on clearance. So I, at any given time, have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Build-A-Bears in my store. I love Build-A-Bear. It's a great brand. But I have so many, and Plush is so long tail that some will sit until I put them on clearance, and some will sell right away. And there's really never a rhyme or reason. I could list 2 brown rabbits just like this tomorrow, and one will sell in 6 months at full price for Easter, and the other one will sit for 3 years, and I have to put it on clearance. I start all my Build-A-Bears at $18 to $20, and upwards from there, depending on the character, if the animal's unique or anything like that. So this one had $7 shipping on it as well. Next, we have a Disney Pixar Toy Story Ham, the pig puppet plush from Burger King. Wow, that's a mouthful. So he's just a little kid's meal toy puppet from Toy Story. Again, he's poop. I got a lot of these poop plushies up over the holidays last year. I had saved them aside, like I mentioned. I had a big box of just poop plush from wholesale buys. And over the Thanksgiving holiday, Keith's grandparents were sick. And so we didn't go over there for Thanksgiving. So instead of taking the 4 days off for Thanksgiving that we usually do, we just took the regular weekend, Saturday, Sunday off. And we worked extra Thursday and Friday and got a bunch of stuff done that we normally don't get around to. We did a little bit of an inventory audit. I photographed all the poop plush and a ton of other stuff that was just sitting in the office. I watched movies while I did it. It wasn't a hardship. We still had a nice meal. But that's just another idea. Like if you're someone who doesn't really celebrate holidays the traditional way, or you work another job in addition to eBay and you get a day off from there, you could put a couple movies on and just photograph all your poop stuff you've been saving up. You don't really have to focus that hard when you're taking pictures, so you can watch movies and do it, right? Whatever it takes to encourage yourself to get things done, do it. If that means putting a movie on to make yourself take photos, or saying when I'm done 10 listings, I get to do 15 minutes on TikTok or watch an episode of my show or go for a walk, bribe yourself if you have to. I am all for it. It's called reward system. And if you work good on a reward system, reward yourself. We have a Culver's Scoopy. I had 2 of these. You can see. I have 1 left. I just did this as a multi-quant listing. They were exactly identical. There was no defects or defaults on either one. Now, if I would have had 2 of these Culver's ice cream cones and one had a tear or rip or different colored eyes or a different tag, or one had a tag and one didn't, if they had had anything different about them, I would have taken separate photos of each and made 2 separate listings. When they're identical, it's okay to do multi-quant. He's a poop. He sold for $6 plus 5 shipping. We've got a Sanrio My Melody plush handbag. So this is kind of bread and buttery poop borderland. It's like bordering on the edge of being poop. There are some characters from Sanrio, like the frog. The penguin, I think, still does really well. Hello Kitty is really oversaturated, but some of the Hello Kitties can sell for a lot of money. Especially the Build-A-Bear Hello Kitties. This is My Melody. It's a little purse. It sold for $8 plus 5 shipping. And a pig beanbag. He doesn't even have he has a tag, and I was going to say he doesn't even have a brand. I'm sure he had a brand at some time, but you can see that his tag is completely faded. So I didn't bother putting anything about a brand in the title. I just did really good keywords. A pig, beanbag, plush. He's yellow, red spotted. He's got a long tail. And then I just put unbranded in the brand. So you can sell generic plush without brands or tags. Just describe them well and use good keywords. He sold for $4 plus $5.50. This is a necklace, and this is one of those weird ones. When I pull up what sold, it usually looks like this, and sometimes they look like this, and I'm not technologically inclined enough to find out why. I'm just going to show you the necklace. It sold for $14.97, right? So that's the necklace. It's Pura Vida, which I have been told is bottom of the barrel poop branded jewelry, kind of up there with paparazzi. I get Pura Vida and paparazzi in my bulk buys that I do of jewelry, and I sell them just fine. So I kind of want to say this is bread and butter, but you guys know I pay $6 a pound for my jewelry, and it's very lightweight, takes up no room to store. It's hardly anything to ship. I'm going to list every piece that's not broken. If it can be listed, it's getting listed. It's fast to photograph too. You can sit and do a lot of jewelry. Like you can sit for 1 hour and probably get hundreds of pieces photographed. I should count how many I do in an hour one day. It's fast though. So this is a poop shirt. When we sourced it, we didn't think it was. We were still learning. That's how old this is. There were 5 shirts originally. You can see here that 4 sold. So we had 5 listed. 1 had sold, and then when I delisted and relisted this, I just knocked it down to 4. So it was, 1 had sold, 4 left for the longest time. When you delist, relist, it starts it over. So 1 had sold a couple years ago, like almost right away when we first bought it, and it had sold for like $20. But the other 4 just sat. Probably doesn't help that it's a size medium. That's a tough size. That's a tough size to sell for men's clothing. But 1 person bought the remaining 4. So over the weekend, 1 person bought all 4. They spent like 20 some bucks on some shirts, and they're out. They're gone. Clearancing out all the old stuff. I'm okay with it. Let's go Q4 with new stuff, right? Sold a pair of Adriana Goldschmied Prima crop jeans. Adriana Goldschmied's still a brand I tell people you should be looking for and sourcing when you find it. This pair sold for $24 plus 7 shipping. Here's another Dark Horse comic. This sold by itself for $8.74 plus $5.50 shipping. You will also notice the Dark Horse comics that sold in the bundle and the one that sold alone all sold not on sale. So when we initially list new items, we put them in at 25% above what we actually want. And then they go on 20% off sale Monday through Friday and 30% on the weekends. We reserve the 50% for clearance items. It takes the sales when you set them up a little bit to grab new items. You can set a sale to, people have already asked me about that. You can set a sale on current listed items, and you can have it grab new items and pull them in. I think I'm going to make that video this week for you guys, because I've been asked several times from people, you keep mentioning that you can set your sales to grab new items. So I'll do that tutorial for you guys this week. So it takes a minute though. Like when you list a new item, it can take a couple of hours. And a lot of times stuff's going to sell. I don't know if it's whether it's a sought after item or just right place, right time. With comics, it's probably the right place, right time, because you can see these comics don't comp very high. They're not comics that are collectibles or sought after or very expensive. But it happens with other categories as well, that items just get listed and sell before they go on sale. I'll take it, right? And the Punisher here sold for $35 or $30. So here's the thing. This one had not gone on sale yet. I wanted $35 for it. So I put it in for $43.74. It'll go on sale for $34.99. Within a couple hours of it being listed, we got an offer for $25. I went back with $35, hoping I could get what I originally wanted. And they came up to $30, and I just took it. So $30 plus $5.50 shipping. A piece of jewelry sold before it was on sale, $18.74 plus $5 shipping. This is a pretty unique piece with silver tone triple circle pendant. Pretty neat. And then another piece of jewelry that sold before it was on sale. I'm not great with math, so let me just... These would have been $19 once they were on sale, but they sold for $23.74 plus $5 shipping. And you can see the good keywords I used here. Full disclosure, most of you already know, I use List Perfectly's listing assistant AI to list all of my jewelry. So it does create the titles and the descriptions and come up with the keywords for me. However, I can share the keywords with you and you can learn, or you can sign up for List Perfectly and try it yourself. 30% off your first month with code FlippinHippos. Build really great listings like this that will sell within hours of being listed before they go on sale. Get more money for them than you wanted to. It's all about the keywords in your title sometimes. So these are Gothic, Red Cross, Silver Tone, filigree, embellished angle earrings. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything you saw in this video today, reselling in general, let me know in the comments down below. Join our Facebook group too, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. You can get a lot of information in there, questions answered quickly, and interact with other resellers in a very positive atmosphere. You guys go be productive, go make some money, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.